Alright guys, so we're going to go over the lights and heavies. So Shugoki's lights, they pretty much do 12 damage on all sides. And of course they cost 9 stamina. Now these lights aren't too bad. They're really good for just poking your opponent and pretty much light interrupting. Alright, let's go over the heavies. So the heavy openers for Shugoki are 24 on all sides. And they cost 12 stamina. And of course they have a property of hyper armor with them. And pretty much the hyper armor will just reduce the damage a little bit. Or you'll just pretty much tank the damage and you'll be able to get your damage out as best you can. And with Shugoki's heavies, he also has a chain heavy as well, a chain heavy finisher. Now, the chain heavy finishers on both right and left are 27. Top is also 27 as well. They're all 27. They pretty much cost 12 stamina as well. And they also have hyper armor too, so you can throw it out again if you want to, just to be able to tank some damage. So you pretty much just tank some damage and possibly get some damage out on your own. Now, that's not the only thing that Shugoki can do. Shugoki also has a charged heavy here that can be an unblockable heavy. The charged heavies here on neutral, they do 28 damage if you do connect them. And Shugoki on top, it also deals 30 damage on top, being the highest for a neutral charged heavy that Shugoki has. And of course, it also has hyper armor and is also an unblockable heavy when it comes to these properties. It's just honestly insane that they're unblockable and hyper armor. The neutral charged heavies are not bad. The only thing is that they can be guard breakable sometimes. It has to be at a specific time. Like at the startup, if you're going for the startup for it, you're going to get guard broken sometimes. Sometimes you will. The opponent, if they are smart, they will GB you and get some damage of their own. You got to be careful with that. So be careful when throwing these out. Probably it's best to throw them out if you want to just be able to throw your opponent off, or if you want to just go for a GB like that, just feint it and go for GB. You can do something like that just to catch them off guard. So Shugoki can do a charged heavy attack as a chain as well. So as you see here, it can be pretty much in a chain heavies here. You can pretty much get yourself a charged heavy attack that deals 30 damage if you do land it. Now if we were to do top as well, it would do 32 damage, just extra 2 damage there. Of course, you just have to hold it down. It's not like just the regular heavy opener where you just press it again. You have to like hold it down to be able to go for it. With those charged heavies, they're pretty much good for target swapping if you're in Dominion. Like if you're playing in Dominion and you want to target swap to a different character or whatnot, you can do that by just using those heavies and target swap and go to a different target and get some damage. Of course, if you're good in duels and whatnot, you can throw this out to possibly catch your opponent off guard. Next, we're going to go over the headbutt. Now, the headbutt is very easy for Shugoki. You can do the headbutt after any starter. So after a light, you can do the headbutt. After a heavy, you can do the headbutt. After the zone, you can do the headbutt. You can pretty much do the headbutt after like a light, heavy, or zone attack. And the headbutt itself is not bad. It's the only thing is that it can also be predictable. A lot of people like to dodge the headbutt. They like to wait for the headbutt. It's very easy to dodge. If you're playing in like high rep duels or pretty much high red Dominion, or you're facing like very skilled players, you're gonna have a hard time just getting this headbutt out sometimes. I mean, you'll still be able to get it out if you're trying to go for like a dodge headbutt here, which the dodge headbutts, they're not bad. It's very predictable as well. But if you're going for like a headbutt afterward, it's also predictable, so you just got to be careful with that. Headbutt itself does around 12 damage, and it also costs 15 stamina. Even if you're trying to go for the dodge, it's the same way. Shugoki also has a front forward dodge heavy, which you can also do the headbutt as well with it. I did forget to mention that. The dodge forward heavy has hyper armor and is good for closing in the gaps, like these large gaps that you see right here. Like here's a large gap. You can just do that to close it up. All right, next we're gonna go over Shugoki's hug. Now, Shugoki's hug used to be devastating back in the day. You used to get a one-shot with the hug if the opponent was very low. Well, now, if you were very low, you would be able to one-shot your opponent if you were very, very low. Shohei has that now, but Shugoki, he used to do that. And the hug itself did get nerfed for that, and it also got nerfed because you could just spam it and everything and have hyper armor. It doesn't have hyper armor anymore. It's just a normal hug that you can just use. Now, the only way you can get the hug off is either A, wall splat, or B, after a light parry. The hug is good. It's only good for just recovering a little bit of your health. It's still a really good move that you can use. If you're very low on stamina or you're running out of stamina and everything, you can get your stamina back just by using the hug. Really is beneficial for just getting your stamina back, in my opinion. Also, with Shugoki, if you do GB, you can pretty much go for this demon ball here, or pretty much the Tiger Woods special is what I like to call it. and you can pretty much just fling them across away from you and create some distance for yourself, or just create separation. My fault. You can just create separation for yourself. I like to call it the Tiger Whip special. Alright, next we have Shugoki's Zone here that does around 14 damage and costs 30 stamina, and it also has hyper armor, which is good for not getting interrupted while throwing the attack out. Not a bad zone, but the one thing is that if you try to do it from neutral, a lot of people are going to catch you and just try to parry or block the zone. I would highly recommend you guys try to just mix it up, like maybe go for a heavy like that, or you go for a headbutt, and then go for heavy like this and go for zone, feint it into the zone. You can do something like that. Just make sure you just mix it up and do something a bit different. Don't try to be one-dimensional and be predictable. You want to try and be unpredictable and just throw the zone out when they least expect it. Try to be aggressive sometimes. Just throw different attacks out with Shugoki. That's how I really will play with Shugoki. Cannot forget about Shugoki's charge of the Oni here. You used to be able to just throw people off a long time ago, that is, but I don't think you can do that now. But it's a good move to just get to the battlefield a bit quickly or get to the zone quickly. And of course, Shugoki does have a running attack that deals around 22 damage. Alright, that's gonna pretty much... Alright, that will do it for pretty much the entire moveset for Shugoki. Now let me go ahead and just show you guys some mix-ups that I have for Shugoki for you guys. Here we go. Alright, so for this first combo, I have to go light, feint the charge heavy into a guard break and go for the Tiger Wood swing or the demon ball. Pretty much I like to do that. Now if you're near a wall, you can go for light, feint the charge heavy into a GB. If they fall for it, go for the hug, get your stamina back, and go for light. All right, so for this next one, go for light, heavy, throw another heavy into headbutt. Now for this next one, light, headbutt, pop heavy. Of course, what I'm doing is that I'm letting my heavies fly because I have hyper armor. I'm not going to get interrupted. Sometimes there are people that will throw out attacks and you aren't going to get interrupted. You can just throw out your attacks since you have hyper armor. You have that advantage. All right, so for this last one here, for Shugoki, I don't do too much with Shugoki. I'll pretty much go for front headbutt, feint the charge heavy into a zone, go for a GB into the demon ball. Now, of course, you're not going to pretty much get every combo out there, but these are just little practice combos that you can use if you want to, just to get with Shugoki. Or you can pretty much just come up with your own. It is up to you. Alright guys, so before we go into the punishes, I want to talk to you guys on how I usually play with Shugoki, or how you can play with Shugoki. Now, with Shugoki, you have to remember that Shugoki, of course, has hyper armor within his kit. You want to use that hyper armor to your advantage. Pretty much, you're going to be uninterrupted whenever you're throwing out your heavies, or if you want to be aggressive, you can do something like this. Pretty much just going for light into headbutt, going for the heavies. You want to try and use those heavies and these variable time heavies as well. Now, what do I mean by variable time heavies? Well, it's just changing the timing of your heavy. See, if I'm going for like this opening heavy here, that's going to be the timing of that heavy. Now, if I decide to just hold it like this and then let it fly, like when I'm close to like the startup animation, or if I'm close to like that final charge animation, I'll just let it go. Let it go and be able to get that heavy off. You want to try and use those variable time heavies to your advantage, because it will help you out big time. And you do want to utilize the zone more when it comes to Shugoki, since the zone does have hyper armor as well. Basically, you just want to use your hyper armor. You want to use your hyper armor, even in anti-gang situations. Use that hyper armor to just target swap and go for different opponents if they're around you. Of course, you can also do it in duels as well, but with duels, if you face a really good player that understands Shugoki's kit, then you're going to have a hard time. Since you got to also remember the headbutt itself is also vulnerable to a GB. And if someone knows that it's vulnerable to a GB, they're going to try and bait you to get that headbutt out. That's what they'll do. But the best thing on how I would play with Shugoki is to just throw your heavies out and just let them fly sometimes. Even if you're new, like, just let your heavies fly. Let them fly. If they fall for it, they fall for it. That's on them. And they'll pretty much be ready to parry those next time. And once they start parrying, that's when you want to actually just start trying to throw out different things instead of just throwing heavies all the time. Like throwing your lights a bit, throwing your headbutt, doing different things. All right, let's go ahead and get these punishes going for Shugoki. After a light parry, you can go for Demon's Embrace, mainly the hug, or you can go for a heavy. After a heavy parry, you can go for the zone, or you can go for a light. For guard break, you can go for a light if you want to, or you can go for demon ball. It's up to you. For wall throw, it's either you go for a heavy, or you can go for the Demon's Embrace. Okay, that is pretty much going to do it for the punishes. Now, if you want pretty much the information to the punishes, I will leave the information hub, the For Honor information hub, for you guys down below to look at all the punishes that Shugoki has. Alrighty guys, now I'm going to go ahead and just show you which feats I take for Shugoki whenever I'm playing in 4v4s or Dominion. And of course, if you want more information for these feats, the link for the info hub will be in my description. But let's go ahead and get straight into it. For these feats, I'm taking Speed Revive, Short Tempered, Hard to Kill, and Staggering Blow. Now, why am I taking these feats? Well, for the first one, I'm taking Speed Revive. Of course, it is a passive. You rapidly revive your fallen teammates. The reason I'm taking this one is to be able to just revive my teammates very fast. That's pretty much what it is. For the second one is Short Tempered. This here's a passive, deals more damage for a short duration after taking damage from an enemy. So after I take some damage from my opponents, I pretty much will deal more damage for a short duration. This is good just to deal more damage and everything, dude. That's pretty much why I'm taking Short Tempered. It's not that bad. It really isn't a bad feat at all. And of course, for tier 3, I'm taking Hard to Kill. But this is my favorite feat here. It is a passive. It increases your damage reduction whenever you're low on health. So whenever you're low health, you pretty much will be hard to kill and it'll increase your damage reduction. This is like the best meta feat in the game, okay? Like this here is the meta feat that you need to take. Even for like heroes like Jormungandr, you need to take that. Like Jormungandr mains will take hard to kill. Same goes with Shugoki mains, they'll take hard to kill as well. And for the final one, I'm taking Stagger and Blow, heavy attacks and throw knockdowns nearby allies and enemies. Mainly the heavy attacks and throws, they will knock down enemies that are nearby you and plus your zone as well. Whenever I do this or I use this feat, I just throw out the zone a lot. I throw out the zone because it'll just knock them on their tail, bro, and I'll be able to get some damage off. I really like this feat. This feat is honestly really good. I would highly recommend you guys take this feat. It's a really good feat to use if you're trying to anti-gank or if you're trying to get out of this sticky situation, like you have 4 people around you, you just want to use this and just get them all around, get them away from you and everything. You can do that. Or if you're just trying to anti-gank 3v1, 4v1, the whole shebang pretty much, like, is really good. And of course, for the others, you have Iron Lung, you have Throw Farther, which this one's not bad. You can throw your enemies farther. You also have Smoke Bomb and Juggernaut as well. You also have Lombo and Punch Through. And you also have Aerostorm and Regenerate. But these are the 4 main feats that I'm taking for Shugoki in Dominion, 44s, etc. Alright, this is going to be a short overview of the gear perks. If you want the link for the information for them, the link for the info hub will be in my description. So let's go ahead and get into it. For the first one, we have Remedy. Upon hero kill, you heal plus 10 health. For the second one, you have Bastion. When in a zone or carrying a banner / offering, you gain 10% stamina resistance. Oh my gosh. Alright, for the second one, we have Bastion. When in a zone or carrying a banner / offering, gain 10%. Oh my gosh, I can't speak today! For the second one, we have Bastion. When in a zone or carrying a banner / offering, gain 10% damage resistance. For the third one, we have Feline Agility. Freaking gosh, are you... For the third one, we have Feline Agility. When gaining a renown level, gain 4% movement speed for the first, then 2% for each subsequent level. For the fourth one, we have Vengeful Barrier. When exiting Revenge, gain a temporary plus 25 health shield. For the fifth one, we have Last Stand. When in critical health, gain 40% damage resistance. And for the sixth one, we got Bulk Up. When gaining a renown level, increase the max health by 4. And for the final one, we have Rising Dawn. Revive allies to 75% health. Out the bat, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell y'all, get Last Stand if you can. Get Last Stand. It will help you out big time. When in critical health, you gain 40% damage resistance. Now, with Hard to Kill, it doesn't stack with Hard to Kill. It just doesn't stack with it. It really doesn't. It's really good for just, well, gaining 40% damage resistance and just staying alive a bit longer. This is like the best meta perk in the game. Last Stand is. You definitely will want this if you're playing like a heavy with Shugoki or pretty much Jormungandr as well. And, of course, Lawbringer, since I think he has it as well. So you want to take Last Stand. I would say go for Vengeful Barrier. Vengeful Barrier is not bad. You could go for Rising Dawn. Well, Rising Dawn is if you want to revive your allies to 75% health and just be helpful to your teammates. You can also go for Feline Agility sometimes. I don't have a problem with Feline Agility. I pretty much don't care. It's honestly really fine. I really do not care what other gear perks I have. I just want to be able to get Last Stand. That's like the one gear perk I would want. So I don't... So for pretty much for me, I would recommend Last Stand. If you want to go for Vengeful Barrier, you can, or Feline Agility, you can. It's up to you. Well, that's going to do it for today's video. I do hope this Shugoki guide does help you understand Shugoki and gets you a bit better with Shugoki and For Honor. Mainly with Shugoki, I tend to just throw out my heavies and throw different attacks out here and there. Just my heavies into headbutt, or go for the headbutt into heavy if I want to, and just feint it maybe into a GB. And if I'm near a wall, I'm gonna throw them to the wall and get the hug out, get my stamina back. Just doing different stuff with Shugoki is how you pretty much will survive, and using his hyper armor to your advantage too. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new, and also comment down below, what do you guys think about Shugoki in the comments. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Shugoki. Do you think he needs a buff, nerf, or do you think he's fine where he is? Let me know. But anyways, guys, I want to tell y'all, thank y'all so much. Again, we're at 16,400 subscribers, and we're trying to get to 17,000 subscribers. Hopefully we can get that and reach that goal. And of course, it's going to be Thanksgiving too. Okay, it's close to Thanksgiving, y'all. So make sure you guys in the comments tell me what you're thankful for. Are you thankful for your family? Are you thankful for just gaming or whatnot? Thankful for anything? Let me know in the comments too. I want to hear what you guys say. And also, I do want to tell y'all that there is a post that I made, a community post, where I pretty much asked you guys, like, what kind of game would you guys want me to stream on Saturdays? Since Saturday, of course, used to be the For Honor slot, now Fridays takes the For Honor slot, since I will be streaming For Honor on Fridays only now. No longer streaming on Saturdays, but Fridays only is when I'm streaming For Honor. Now, for Saturdays, I will try to just play different games and just have a good time. You guys are choosing Warframe right now, and I can play some Warframe and everything for a little bit. And if I want to switch it up and do something different, like The Walking Dead, since that's also second, I'll do The Walking Dead as well. Like, The Walking Dead isn't too bad, and it's honestly really fun. It's a really cool, like, story mode game and everything. The Walking Dead Telltale series is honestly my favorite. But if you guys want to see that, I'll let you guys know in another post as well, if you guys want to see some stuff like that. Yeah, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to go ahead and, of course, again, like, comment, and subscribe. Now, if you want to look at some cool gameplay like Lawbringer, you can click that video right there. Or if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe right here.